Alright guys, how's it going? Welcome back. Well, today we're going to pick up a 2012 Seat Leon that I've just agreed to buy for just £1,000. I've just had a phone call from a trader friend of mine who's offered me this car as part of a batch of cars. And I wasn't that excited, to be honest. Although having said that, they do always sell well, and they're quite, I'm not going to say reliable, but they're alright. You know, I don't completely detest them. So I haven't actually seen this car yet, but I'm told it's a 1.6 turbo diesel. It's a SE Copa model, whatever that means. It's done around 110,000 miles, and I'm told it needs a very good clean and a good buff, and possibly a fresh set of reg plates. Right up my street, isn't it, this? I just figured at £1,000 there must be some profit left in this car. I'm thinking maybe spend £200 on a service and MOT. It probably wants a couple of tyres and that sort of thing, I guess. It'll want a good buff, number plates, maybe a little bit of paint here or there. So if I could spend maybe £750 on this car, then it'll owe me £1,750. I'm pretty confident this is a £2,995 car retail. So on the face of it at least, this promises to return me about £1,200 profit. And that's not to be sniffed at, is it? That's why I said yes. I do quite like buying stuff like this, because if it's all right, it's kind of low risk, isn't it? Little outlay and decent return. I haven't actually seen this car yet, but I have just had a quick photograph of it, and it does look a bit sorry for itself. It's covered in sort of mossy stuff. It does need a very good clean. So I thought, well, why not bring you guys along and I'll give you a quick tour of it, see if I can make £1,200 profit. Let's go. I'll see you there. Right, well, here is what £1,000 has bought me. It's a 2012, last of the Mark II, I think, Seat Leon. And it does look a bit sorry for itself, doesn't it? The description was quite accurate. Tyres look all right, though. We've got a Copa Xeon CS8, but in fairness, I'm Mark, but that's on about 6mm of tread. That looks all right. As do the brake discs. The wheels could do with being refurbished, to be honest, but I don't know whether I'll bother. 110,000 mile scruffy Seat Leon, I don't know whether it's worthwhile. This is, oh, I thought it was, you know what? I thought that was paint peeling. It's actually just water. That's the result. I always quite liked how the wipers on this sort of hide on the A-pillar there. Nerdy fact. It does need a very good buff though. Looks very flat. Moving around the back, we've got a, which one's this? This is a Prestivo. I think I've heard of those before actually. Again on about 6mm, 5 or 6mm, that's all right. A little bit of body damage here where it's had a previous repair. You can just see where it's cracked. Someone's filled that before and the filler's cracked. So it wants a wheel arch doing. Moving around the back. The description was right, it is crying out for a set of reg plates. Yeah, very scruffy looking. Look at all the moss and stuff built up. This hasn't had a clean for an awfully long time. And it needs a fresh set of wiper blades. It's left its mark on the glass there. A few touch-ins there on the door edges. You know what, I think I could transform this. I do think with a little bit of TLC, I can make this quite a nice looking thing. That just wants refitting. Fresh set of plates, good clean, good buff. Buff the headlamps, they're a little bit cloudy. You know, when I lived in Spain, these were incredibly popular. Everybody had one of these, everyone. I also quite liked how the door handles were hidden up there. It just meant that you got neater lines. It was a bit sort of Alfa-esque. Now if we have a look inside, we've only got the Juan key there, unfortunately, but it does work. You can always get a spare one of those cut at Keyfax in Duckingfield for about 100 quid. In the back, oh dear, this is filthy. Oh, look at the stains on the seats, that's worrying. Stinks as well. Can't really identify that smell, but it just smells, I don't know, musty. We've got some, what look like dog paw prints there as well. I might have bought Keith Lard's car. Moving around the back then, let's have a look in the boot, see if there are any treasures. Right, we're missing a parcel shelf, so I need to have a look on eBay. Again, it's just filthy. Properly filthy. There's a load of mess everywhere. Someone's been doing tip runs in this, or a bit of DIY. Bits of wood and screws and all sorts of stuff. It would clean up though. I think I've got half a car here under this layer of filth. It's a Copa edition, which of course is Spanish for cup. Right, as always then, let's do a CarVertical check, find out a little bit more about it. So it's really easy to use. All you do is go to carvertical.com, type in the reg or the VIN. Now in this case, we know it is U-Tube 12 Whiskey Kilo Hotel. Check vehicle. And what this does, it checks database in 35 different countries, so it'll tell us whether it's ever been stolen, written off, had a mileage rollback, or has outstanding finance on it. It isn't expensive and it's cheaper still if you use my promo code HIGHPEAK. That's HIGHPEAK, all one word, HIGHPEAK, and you save yourself 20%, a whole 20% off each and every check that you do. That's not just a one-time offer, you can use this as many times as you like, and it can stop you just buying a complete lemon. It's currently checking databases all over the globe, this. In addition to telling us whether it's been stolen, written off, had a mileage drawback, all that sort of stuff, it tells you the MOT history, the ownership changes, the spec, the average market price, all that sort of stuff. So it's a really handy tool, this. Right, and just like that, the report is ready. So there's no outstanding finance, there's no recorded accident damage, that's all good. Scroll down to the MOT history, that is a 1.6 diesel hatchback. It's an SE Copa TDI 105, 103 horsepower. It's only £20 a year to tax, that's pretty good. It was last MOT'd in December last year, and we've got a couple of advisory items. Exhaust corroded, rear child seat fitted, not allowing full inspection of adult belts, and rear registration plate deteriorated but not likely to be misread, cracked. Before that it passed, before that it failed. Okay, so bit of a mixed bag here in terms of its history. And it looks like that kind of car, doesn't it? Doesn't look like a car that's been lavished with love, money or attention. Let's have a look inside then, shall we? Gonna ruin my white trainers, aren't I? Should put my boots on, really. Oh yes, they're ruined. Moving down this side then, I know it's tricky to see, but there's a small little dent there. That's not too bad. We've got a matching tyre there. A matching Xeon with about 5 or 6 mil of tread. That's all pretty good. Again, filthy. Really filthy, but it would clean. I'll let off one of those odour bombs, I think. We've got the original mats. That's a good sign. Isofix rear seats. I mean, basically underneath this is a Golf. Sounds like a Golf. What can I tell you then? Previous owner was a fan of coffee. Oh, we've got a sat-nav screen there. It's all very VW, isn't it? All very VW. We've got a slightly worn driver's seat. That's not the end of the world, really. Original mats. Right, what can we see then? I think the previous owner was a larger build because the seat's way back. Right. Now we're talking. It's done 111,000 miles. Wait for a little glow plug light to disappear. Oh, she fired straight into life. This 1.6 litre engine can suffer with EGR valves, injector issues, turbo issues. Yeah, we've got an empty coffee cup there. We've got one cup holder to match the Juan key. Auxiliary, USB. This is alright, this really. Hits Manchester there, very good. What's he been listening to? Any CD treasures? No, sadly not. We've got climate control. Back in its day, this must have been half a car, really. We've got 4 electric windows. Do they work? 1, 2, 3, 4. Sí, todo funciona bien. We've got power folding mirrors. Do they work? Oh, that one does. That one's not working. Oh dear, right, I think I've broken it. Oh, it's making a right racket. That's not good, is it? That one seems quite happy, but this one is protesting a little bit too much. We've got central lock in here. That's all good. Start, stop. We shouldn't press that button now, to be fair. We've got a locking wheel nut in the glove compartment. Right, service history. For some reason, Seats always have a very tiny service book. Let's have a look, shall we? Come on, please have history. I know it's only £1,000, but a bit of history would be nice. No, there isn't any. No service book at all. That's a pity. We've got what looks like a do not disturb door hanger. No, sadly not. No service book. Well, that's a shame, isn't it? Perhaps, this has happened on occasion. It's with the V5 and the MOT and all that sort of stuff in a separate folder. That might still be at the main dealer. Right, well, we've been running for a couple of minutes, I suppose, and we've got no warning lights on, so that's good. I suppose then, really. Yeah, clutch engages, we're all good. I suppose we should get this out on the road, shouldn't we? What I think we'll do then is take this for a quick drive, see how it performs, and then crack on with the work. What I should do really is, oh, we've got automatic lights. What I should do really is take this for a quick clean, because it's disgusting and it stinks. Take it for a clean first, then run it down to my mechanics for a service, MOT, see what it needs. It certainly doesn't need tyres, because the tyres are all right. The brake discs look okay as well, so it probably doesn't need those. And it's running okay. Oh, I'll tell you what, we haven't looked under the bonnet yet, have we? Getting ahead of myself here. Let's pull the bonnet lever. Did that pop? Don't think that popped. Oh, it did. It did. Right. Yeah, it's got an engine. There we go. That's good. It's as dirty under here as it is in the back seats. Coolant looks all right there. Screen wash is full. It's a good sign. Should check the oil level really, shouldn't I, before I take it on a run. The oil actually looks very clean. Very clean and plentiful, which is nice. Well, there are no signs of any obvious leaks or no terrible corrosion. Chassis legs look straight, we're all good there. These nuts and bolts and stuff here don't look like they've been off. So I don't think it's had a front end whack. We're all good, I think. Right, well now I suppose we'll get it on the road. See how it drives. Right, so well, let's get this Seat Leon on the road, shall we? Actually sounds quite sweet for a diesel, this. We've got my trade plate. Oh yeah, something quite satisfying about those wipers. That's enough, thank you. Right, clutch feels all right. Pump up my seat a little bit. Oh, brakes are sharp. Very, very sharp, actually. I've been in the car with my brother. My brother, for some reason, always likes to brake very harshly, as if he's braking with his left foot. Very irritating. Well, it's quite solid over the bumps. This is a good road to test that on, because the road surface is like the surface of the moon. Well, we got into third gear then with no crunches, so that's a good sign. I mean, really, 111,000 miles for one of these isn't very high. You quite often see Golfs and Leons and stuff with this engine with hundreds of thousands of miles on. No clicking on the steering, so my CV joints are intact. Actually pulls all right. I mean, it's only 105 horsepower, but it's pulling okay. Let's try my aircon, shall we? Don't suppose this will work, but shall give it a whirl. This hill's quite steep, and it didn't like being in third then. We dropped down into second. Oh yeah, pulls all right, this. She pulls fine. Oh, my rear wiper works. Lovely jubbly. Well, this actually drives all right. And you know what? Low road tax and... that was just a fuel light, by the way. Yeah, low road tax and probably 50 miles per gallon. This would be a very cheap car to run for somebody. My air conditioning works. It is ice cold. If anything, that's a little bit too cold. Right, well this, despite appearances, it's actually a decent car, this. I think it's worth continuing on with. This is exactly what I was hoping for. Something that looks a bit unloved, that I can transform into a forecourt worthy car. What we're going to do then, ladies and gents, is take it down to my mechanics. No, first things first, we're going to get it cleaned. I'm going to leave it for a mini valet quickly. Oh, lost my GoPro. That's not great news, is it? That was such a controlled descent then. We don't need a bonnet shot anyway, do we? Where were we then? Yeah, take it for a mini valet, order some fresh number plates for it. Get excited about doing that. Then run it down to my mechanics for a service, MOT. What else does it need? I need to find a parcel shelf off eBay. That'll be 100 quid, won't it? I think my original budget then, what did I say? Did I say 750? If I could have this all done and dusted, it would me 1750. There's a little bit of paint on that rear arch and a buff. That's going to be 1.5, 200 quid. 200 quid at my mechanics, hopefully, as long as there's nothing wrong with it. As long as she doesn't call me and say the turbo's leaking or something like that. But I mean, It's all right, it doesn't smoke. Pulls all right. So yeah, 200 quid at my mechanics, 200 quid on paint. A valet's going to cost me 70 quid. Parts shop's going to cost me 100 quid. Yeah, I think for 750 we could transform this car. Then it'll owe me 1750, and I'm pretty confident this is a 2995 car. I think it's quite a decent car really for 3 grand. I'll chase up the main dealer where I bought this from and see if there's any service history. I'll give it a fresh service anyway, but it'd be nice if there was a nice fully stamped service book as well. I don't want to start getting too picky or too greedy, but that would be nice, wouldn't it? Because she actually pulls very well. It's only a 5-speed box rather than a 6, but this is all right. Might ask my mechanic to have a look at that mirror, see why it's not folding in. I'm very surprised with this though, because to look at you'd think this was just a complete dog with no life left in it at all. And it actually drives very, very well, which makes me think this car's probably been serviced. I don't think that's too much of a stretch to imagine that this has, to be honest. We're all right, I'm quite pleased. You know, the fact that the air conditioning works and all the windows work. And we've got sat-nav as well. Yeah, this is all right, really. Let me run it down to the car wash then for a quick mini valet, and then I'll take it to my mechanic to crack on with the work. Hopefully, I was going to say give me a week, but I might need a fortnight. Give me a fortnight, and I'll have this turned around. You won't recognise it when I'm done with it. You'll not believe your eyes. Right, leave this with me then. I'll have an update for you very soon. I've actually got a Kia Ceed that I've noticed is here and ready that I've just bought. I need to get back to work and take some photographs of. So I shall do that now. In fact, you know what? You can come with me. Very lucky, aren't you? Hello, you all right? How are you doing? Yeah, good, thanks. Could I get a mini valet for me, please? I'm going to take the Kia. Yeah, thank you. Cheers. We've got the Kia keys. Now, I haven't seen this car yet, but it's supposed to be quite a nice car. It's a 2014 64 Kia Ceed 2 petrol. Just noticed we're running on Michelin tyres there. Halfords plates. These always sell well. Always. It's a very clean car, this. Very clean. Right, I'm going to take this to work then and photograph it, and I'll have an update for you on the Seat Leon. Nearly forgot. Seat Leon very soon. Cheers, guys. Well, we're back in my cheap Seat Leon, and it's all finally done and ready for sale. Sale! Sorry, excuse my voice. Full of a cold. You should have heard me yesterday. Believe it or not, this is actually an improvement. Anyway, I'm really pleased with this cheap Seat Leon because when I first bought it, it was a bit of a dog. And most importantly, I haven't. That's have not. Massively overspent. I think this has come in right on budget. After we last spoke, I took this down to my mechanics and asked them to check it over quickly before I spent any money on it. I just didn't know how bad it was, and it looked a bit neglected and unloved. Anyway, a couple of days later, my mechanic called me and said, "Right, Matt, that Seat Leon's all ready." So I said, "I thought you were just going to check it over." He said, "Well, we did, and it was all fine." So we carried on with the service and MOT. Perfect. Do you know all it needed? All this, what is it now, a 12-year-old car? Done 111,000 miles. All this car needed to pass an MOT was 2 new exhaust clamps. The old ones were rotten, apparently, so they were replaced, and that was it. Sailed through an MOT with not a single advisory item. It had a minor service as well at the same time, and that's it. It took me by surprise, to be honest, because I was fully expecting this to be one of those cars where my mechanic calls me and says, "Right, Matt, we can fix it, but it's going to cost you a lot of money." Anyway, that never happened. My mechanic actually said whoever owned this car prior to me had spent an awful lot of money on it because there were quite a lot of new components, so there was nothing really to do. And that never really happens to me. I'm never usually that lucky. So for once, I've had a bit of a result. It's good, really. It makes a nice change. I suppose even a broken clock's right twice a day, isn't it? What happened next then? Let me try and get the order right. It was a couple of weeks ago, this. From there, I picked it up and I took it down to Jimmy, the painter. If you remember, there was a bit of damage to the rear quarter. Somebody had repaired it previously, and the filler or bog or whatever had started to crack and it looked a bit of a mess. So I had that fixed and sorted. A little bit of paint, I think, on the front bumper, and a full buff. And it looks really good. I mean, there are still a few imperfections. I'll have to live with that. It's not the end of the world. But from a distance, from a couple of meters away, it looks very bright. Then I got it back to work and had some new reg plates fitted. I usually fit them myself, but on this occasion I didn't. You can kind of see why as well. The rear plate's a little bit crooked. I'll have to have a word with James about that. Perhaps I should treat him to a spirit level or a tape measure or something. It's a little bit lower on the right. Anyway, not the end of the world. They still look better than what was there before.
After that then, I had a car that was mechanically sound, that looked nice on the exterior, but the inside was still a bit grim. So I took it down to Tameside Detailing, and the lads there did a full detail clean. And it came back looking pretty mint. Even the rear bench seat that was full of suspicious stains looks like new. And that's about it really. I'm quite pleased with the outcome. What I've done here, guys, is, what's the expression? I've made a silk purse from a sow's ear. That's what I've done. Story of my life. I do it day in, day out. I think what we'll do now then is work out what I've spent. I kind of know. I've probably spent £600 or £700 on this car. Bear in mind I bought it for £1,000, so it should owe me around £1,650, £1,700. But as always, we'll park up somewhere scenic and I'll see how close to that I actually am. Then I need to get it back to work, photograph it and do an advert. I don't know what it's worth. Not sure. It's quite a decent thing really. Quite happy driving along in it. I suppose it's got to be worth £3 I guess, hasn't it? Anything that's half decent with a clean MOT is worth that sort of figure these days, isn't it? I'll do a bit of research and see, but I imagine 2995 doesn't look too dear, does it? Right, then let me find somewhere to park and I'll get my calculator out. Someone's only going to park to my lay-by. You don't know this is my lay-by. Right, let's get my bills out then. In case you're wondering, I bill at my mechanics. In fact, no, let's start at the beginning. So get £1,000 upon your calculator. There we go. Then my bill at my mechanics for an MOT test fee, that was £40. Oil and filter service, 2 exhaust clamps, £12. And labour, £50. My total bill there was £159 and 40 pence. That's £11.59 and 40 pence. On top of that, we've got my bill at Jimmy's. That was repair and repaint front bumper, repair near side rear arch and repaint, wash, clay bar, buff, polish, full vehicle. That was £385, but well worth it in my opinion. On top of that, we've got £70 for a valet, and we've got £15 for some number plates. And that was it. Well, that was a good guess, wasn't it? Because my total then for this car is £1,629 and 40 pence. So I think if I can get anywhere near 2995 for it, then I've kind of doubled my money, haven't I? It'll leave me with a profit of 13 something. Before tax, before VAT, all that sort of stuff. But from a £1,000 outlay, it's pretty good going, isn't it? It's pretty good. Right, well, nearly heading back to Jimmy's then for more paint. Right, well, thank you once again for watching, guys. Make sure you give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't done already. You can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. I'll leave the links below. So yeah, I think that's about it. So until the next time, hopefully when I've got my my voice back, see you around.